People, 7 people are already there. So we'll start it. I think other people have some commitment also. We'll start on that. So hello everyone. Welcome to these sessions. This is like a kind of brainstorming session. Sorry Santosh, not to give a full agenda earlier, but this is kind of like where we will learn from the people who already done the CFA submission, presented many topics on the multiple sessions on like you, Santosh and Jones are here. Maybe Rashmi also had done one thing. I have done thing. So we can have a brainstorm and share your insight on that, and which can help other people to also while they're doing also that anyone doing as a fresher, right? What need to be done? Everything can we'll try to cover in the question. And anyone has not done, they can ask the question in chat box, and we'll try to answer from the expert based on that. Okay, so we'll start directly only. So first thing, I have a question in my list. We'll go with that. When somebody see the CFA, okay, so, so what they will do first? Santosh or Joan, you have any answer on that?
First thing is, of course, I will go
Dimash,
through
can you
the.
elaborate on your question?
Yeah, so okay. My question is like now you saw a CFA selections, right? CFA submission link somewhere in a website and everything. So at the first step, what should do? Any the people who are new, what they will do is the first steps. When they see the list of the CFA's submission link. Suppose take example of any community days CFA is open now. Okay, they are seeing that these are the topic you can cover in that. At the first step, what they should do it.
Mm, Probably a thing is look at what are your interest areas. So, say for example, me, I'm into serverless, so I look at something that the conference relates to serverless, and then looking also into the type of conference it is. Like, say for example, if it is a AWS Community Day or serverless days, for example. So I'll have a brief idea in terms of what is the target audience, right? So
Okay.
I'll try to judge the target audience and then come up with a session plan which also resonates well with the target audience. Yeah, that will be my first step. Identifying which conference and the target audience, then go into the session details in terms of if I've done a specific session or a specific topic, if I'm redoing it, what is the new things that I'll include? Or if it's a new session, go into the details of what all I want to cover.
Okay. Okay. Now, so now you are shared from the your experience point of view. You are doing multiple times, right? So, example like I am a new, and I am working on some so and so technology like cloud ops or some other full stack developer, somebody else, right? Now I saw some cloud related CFAs are open, and I would like to try it out. Okay. So how do I decide, like based on the my use cases or based on the anything which can figure out at any topic where I can find, is there any source where I can find out a topic, or I need to find out my own self based on the what I do my day to day job. Like what generally a practices follow when you anyone is doing in the freshly.
In terms of what topics to pick, I'll go with what I'm working on because that way I'll have a hands-on experience of working on the specific topic. And
Okay.
also in terms of building out a demo, building out the whole narrative for the session, I'll have an idea of what exactly I want to cover. So something that I'm building on is something that I would choose.
Got it. Uh, I'll share my thoughts here. What I do the combination of CFA generally submission. So one will be what I am doing continuously, or I do some repetitive topics also. Try to submit that. But most of the time, like I can say 80 to 70, 70 to 80%, I try to pick the new thing which I don't know. So I want to broaden my experience by using this opportunity and pick up the topic. So suppose example now recently there is some EBPF some technologies coming out. I don't know exactly on that part, and it might be interesting to learn about it. So can I pick this topic? So what I generally do, I pick the topic. I reach out to the who are expert in that domain and get some knowledge and draft on that particular things like, okay, what this technology belong to, what can be done, and is there any use cases behind that? Like where I generally prefer it. Santosh, what do you
Uh,
have any thoughts on that kind of thing?
I mean, yeah, I do the same. So generally, as John said, yeah. So I generally actually look at the things which I have recently worked on, or I want to actually explore. Right. So, for example, recently I gave a talk on GitHub Actions. I'm not using GitHub Actions much on my work, but it is part of my job. So I just wanted to learn it. So I thought of like, why not do a job, do a talk, and it was a DevOps conference. So it worked out, and that's how I generally decide. So at the start of the year, I think of like 4 or 5 talks which I have to do, and based on the conference, I just change the topic because this is something which we all do as a new speaker. We try to come up with a new talk for every conference. Believe me, that's not possible. You will
Right.
just burn out yourself because it takes time. I mean, it takes time to prepare your slides. Like you will go through multiple iterations, like how you can change your content which fits the agenda. So that's something I do. I mean, at the start of the year, I decide like, okay, these are 4 or 5 talks I want to do, and then I just do it for the entire year.
Got it.
And of course, change the title. So I don't submit with the same title. That's one more thing because even if like people, the conference organizers, like they want to know that if you have given the same talk earlier or not, and it there are chances that you may get rejected. So I try to actually give another same content but with a different topic, so it has some chances of getting in.
Just give a second. Huh? Thanks, Santosh, for sharing this thought also. Anyone has anything else like Vedant? You have done anything so far? Like,
So, okay, so I've worked as dev adv at JustPay. So it's not that I've given many several talks and all, but I do give at a few cities and etc. So what I believe that, the topic on which we normally should give, it obviously should be based on our past experience. Not just that, it should be about something which is not there available on YouTube. Like the person, instead of, it should, the person should get to know something new, which won't be readily available on the internet. And yeah, and I guess that comes only through the experience from the past experience that we have. And yeah, I mean, it's good to have some topics like the EBF thing that you mentioned, some latest new tech where not much content is already there. So topics are always good to have, because if we as a community leads, we are the one learning them, then obviously they are as well the one learning them eventually, right? So yeah, pretty much that's it.
Yeah.
yes, Koti, I'm recording this session.
Okay, yeah, thanks, Anish.
Okay. Akhilesh, you have any questions?
Well, I've not done any presentation yet in any calls, but yeah, this queries has been there around like CFP preparation, uh, like how the content could be like unique and not duplicated, or how one gets an idea of preparing content, how or how one sources their idea from any different places or any other already presented content by some other speakers at some other conferences or international conferences, if something like that is there or not.
Okay, got it. So we'll move to the next question. Next question is like, now you find a place where to submit the CFAs, right? So like example of another any event, right? Now, how do you decide about the title? Because when CFS, I have heard from the CFA selectors, right? They are more always be concerned about and very particular about what title is there or what abstract you are going to do it, right? So any insight you guys have to can share it with I can also share from my experiences. What wherever I got rejected, I try to get the insight from that. Okay, what was the missing there? But I over to you guys, Santosh Jones, and then you can share your thought, like how we can come to the conclusion. Like this will be my title. or is there any pattern you should follow, something like that? Is there any formula? Okay, you can say that it can follow.
Just want to add, because of course this is very important, because this is the first thing which the committee is going to see, right? I mean, your title. So try to come with some catchy things. Like, for example, if it's like related to performance, try to say, okay, hey, these are like 5 steps how you can like improve your performance of whatever you are working on, or some general issues which people generally get, right?
Mhm.
And try to come with some innovative talk title. Nowadays, you have, of course, you also have Chat GPT. So don't like just enter and see what Chat GPT tells you. Try to innovate around the same topic which probably Chat GPT will tell you. I've never tried it. I mean, I tried it for my uh, like blog post, and it worked out really well.
Yeah.
Of course, I didn't like picked up the same thing. I just changed it a little bit and then tried to come up with a new title. So that's a good idea. But yeah, I mean, keep it a little bit catchy. That would be when you're deciding around the title. Just don't say, okay, how to improve your performance. That's it. So there will be like, believe me, there will be hundred of talks just with the same title.
Oh, is it? Is that the same thing
Of
happen?
course,
Like,
of course, it happens. I mean, for example, right now in Angular, there is Angular Signals, right? So Signals is very hot topic right now, and any conference which is related to Angular, believe me, there will be hundred of talks just related to Signals.
oh,
So that's
interesting.
true. I mean, in technology, new things will come, and that they will be the hot topic in market, and everyone will try to actually submit the same topic.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, just like even if you're submitting the same, just make sure that your title is a little bit catchy, not the okay, let's do this, or let's improve the performance.
Mm,
Not going to work.
got it. Got it. John, you have anything to share?
Yeah, plus one on catchy phrases for your title. And also, you need to ensure that the title has a clear takeaway for the audience. That kind of gives people that, hey, somebody is reviewing your CFP. They know that, okay, looking at the title, they know what's going to be the agenda, what's going to be the takeaway for the audience. So building that title itself is the crucial part of it. Of course, I've tried ChatGPT for titles in talks. I was not happy personally, but it all depends on what kind of topic that you want to present. And
Correct. Yes.
uh, so, getting the catchy phrase is a good thing, and also ensure that if you're using specific services, having that in the title also helps. So, say for example, you're building something on, uh, for example, application composer. So you have that in the title and build the title on top of it. That also helps because people have a clear idea in terms of telling, hey, this is a service that's the star of this talk. So, yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any example, like what kind of from your recent talk, right? What was the title and how you can like justify there were takeaway from the titles? Right?
So one is about EventBridge and Freshworks integrations that I've been doing, where it's more in the lines of telling EventBridge, Amazon EventBridge integrations with SaaS products, Amazon EventBridge with Freshdesk product events, things like that, where there's a clear understanding in terms of telling, hey, I'm using EventBridge, I'm using partner products,
Okay.
and how does that build the story is part of my abstract.
Yeah. I have observed few things, right? Like not sure like if you guys can add on that part. Many of the topic which I've seen, there are very fancy word has been used. Okay, like demsifying, 10 fact, 5 fact, 5 things to follow, all this part. Will this really work or it's just like a fancy thing when people use it? Like, what do you feel?
And if I have to say, I mean, I will say yes, it works. In case the speaker is really well versed with what he's trying to convey. If because it's very hard, right? Those talks are like really hard to deliver because it may be possible that you just said 5 things which people already know. But if you are coming with those 5 things from your experience, it can add value. and I've seen like some of them are actually really mind blowing talks.
Yes. So means that if you're going to use that keywords in your title, we have to make sure that we have a right context set behind the titles.
Uh, Two more points that I'd like to add is that the topic either should convey an indirect message about what will be covered as well. Like not just that, hey, this is the topic and hey, this is what we're covering, but it should focus on some adjective somehow, not directly. And secondly, that many of the times it is seen that if the topic is framed as a question, which normally it comes to the people's mind, then normally I've seen that these are preferred more. Like yeah, like what computer engine would you like to use or something like that. Just WH questions.
Mhm. I used to only use most of the time how to these keywords many times, like, and out of that, like almost 6 7 times I got rejected, like, because that was maybe a very simplified version of title, like how to build it, how to do this kind of thing,
Yeah.
so repetitive wise. So after over a period of time, when I looking at the multiple people how they're doing it, titles, they're rephrasing it, right, I started changing the titles combinations on that part, using some higher keyword which can give a prominent result, as Jones mentioned, right. They should get the idea by looking at a title, just okay, this is a takeaway from my title, like your session. That's how it exactly work it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like it should not feel like it's a 101 session, right? It should not feel that, hey, like some random guy from their own city can come and give a talk on that.
Agree.
It should show that, there is something that only this guy can provide.
Agree.
That's what should come out of
Yes, yes. Agree.
Yeah, I think it should be that key standout where it tells that uh, there are contents on this topic available on the internet, but what really stands out with your talk?
Rashmi or Koti, you want to add anything?
No, guys, I'm new. I'm learning from you guys. So thanks.
You have any questions around it, titles?
No, I'm good.
Okay. What about you, Koti?
I think Vedant covered pretty much what is there on top of my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
Okay. So now next one after the title is like the main portion is the abstract, because CFA selector after title selection they will go for the abstract part, and abstract is the major key takeaway from your session, which is going to be applied to your audience, right? So in that case, like, what should be there, like in abstract, when you're explaining about any business use case, should we use only business language, or should we use a technical language in abstract, or should a combination of business per technical language? What a suggestion on that?
I mean, if I have to answer this, I think the answer is really depends, because uh, what level of talk you are giving, right? So if it's very basic, so of course when you submit a talk, you tell them, right, what kind of talk it would be. Is it like going to be beginners, intermediate, or it's going to be a very advanced? So if you
So
have like, of course, submitting a very advanced topic, so your content should tell it that it's very advanced. It's not something which can be written in like very easy language. I mean, if you can, that's best, but I don't think so. That would be that easy, like to convey that in a very simple language. So
yeah, because in
right,
most of the
just wanted to
conference or tech
share.
event, the combinations of the audience will be always be a tech plus business people also, right? So we need to cover while giving it. Yeah, they should be also get from that particular. Okay, this product, if I use it, it will be useful for me, my business. It might save a cost, or it might change my performance while. So, I'll take an example of this. Like, suppose one title is like how AWS one service can save your cost while building your MVP product. Okay, this is one topic. It's just a random topic. So in that topic, when you are writing the abstract, what should be there? Like, because I was writing on the abstract on the business perspective. Okay, if you use the service, you will save this millions of dollar money amount on etc etc. Because then I come to some review part. Okay, add some technical details also in that part. not only the keeping a business, because because audience will be the combinations, right? So it will have a both takeaway, not only specific to the business or specific to technical one.
Uh, that's possible once you know the audience, right? I mean, because if you go to many conferences, you will only see developers, right? So if you're going to a conference where there are just developers and you are delivering this talk, probably that may not work, right? I mean, why developers should care about like making saving money? We just want to drink free coffees in office, right? We don't care about saving money.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you know the audience that there are going to be business people, very big conferences where I think most of the conferences I know about DevOps is focused on business. I mean, of course, there is some developers part, but mostly business. So it may work, but you have to like really come with a strong content when you write your abstract. Otherwise, it will just
Right.
Yeah. So one way is finding that balance, because you're speaking at a technical conference, giving out the technical details is good. It actually says that, hey, this guy knows what he's talking, right?
Yeah.
So having that tech details in your abstract, along with couple of business language-based uh, description is good. And of course, if you plan to do a demo about on the specific topic, you could give a two-liner about it. Include the demo's two-liner as well, because it gives a clearer picture, like what use case you're talking about and how does this whole thing fit into the use case.
Okay. Okay. So you need to mention a demo part in abstract, or that can be rest later when you have a PPT creation. Like you are going to demo
Uh,
something, you need to mention that part in abstract.
I mean, if you already have presented this topic, you know what you're demoing, right?
Okay.
So at that point, you may have that one-liner about the demo, which gives that idea. If you're presenting it for the first time, and if you have any idea of what you want to demo, you could have it. Otherwise, it's good also.
Okay. Got it.
there are some conferences which mention this in CFP, whether your talk has some demo.
Yep.
You can
Oh,
have a few conferences and then they give you an option.
okay.
Is it going to like have some live coding or something?
Right.
If not, I mean, this is something which I do generally in case there is nothing like that, there is no. So I generally mentioned this in the others. There is like other section where you can write whatever you want to, and I generally try to mention it there that okay, this talk will have live coding session. So uh, yeah, I mean we may need projector or something. So just in case, I mean, of course your talks are being recorded or shown on the big screen, but this big screen, but just to
Yeah. So
and
as a
I just wanted to give one more link because this is something which has helped me a lot. There is a blog from Sam Julian, who is development manager at Okta. So this helped me a lot because I remember my first conference, which was in Sri Lanka, and I was really not satisfied with the kind of talk I gave. And then he wrote this just like after that. So I read it and then it helped me a lot. So if you this is from 2019, but it makes a lot of sense for new speakers as well as someone who has started or given few talks.
yeah, even I also follow Sam. Like if he is really writing the very good content and all the experiences from like all your learning only. So one more question on this same part, abstract part, not in abstract but CFS part only. As a new beginner, okay, there are two type of always CFS will be open. One will be a 15-minute lightning talk, and one will be for 30 to 45 minute of a talk, session talk kind of thing, right? So if somebody is starting there, what you will suggest? Whether should you go lightning or the proper session only? I feel the lightning will be too early for the newcomer to cover everything because they are not confident enough to showcase anything, or they might require more time to express their all detail. That's why I feel like, what is the take from your side? Like,
What I believe is more than see our objective overall is to help the audience, right? For them to make sure that they have a good kickstart for the topic. Now, for us to make that possible, it depends on us like how much time we need. It shouldn't be like just so that we have to cover a 45-minute thing in 30 minutes. We'll do it. And it's not that, hey, I want to do a 40-minute talk, but the talk is of like 20 minutes or something. I'll expand it some. We just think it from the audience perspective, what will be the best for them, and accordingly we should go with it. Like either way, see, it doesn't matter if it's 20 minutes or 40 minutes. Once we get in the flow, it's there as long as based on how much content we have which we can speak, right?
Yeah.
Yep, that's all.
So means that we cannot decide at the first glance only, okay, I should go there. Based on the topic which I will choose and what I can cover it, then I can go choosing, okay, whether I
Yes.
cover in 15 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes.
Yeah, right.
Makes sense. Makes
It
sense.
also depends on the level of content that you're giving, because say if it's an expert level thing, and your audience may not be experts, right? So you have to give them that context. So that will require you having it. The same 15-minute talk could be a 20-minute talk for an intermediate or beginner level guys. So being mindful of what level it is and the audience, the whole thing will balance out in terms of how do you present it at a given time slot.
Got it. Got it. Rashmi or Koti or any other one, anyone has questions on this?
I not on this, so I have on another topic.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So basically, say same. For example, we have some XYZ topic, and we have two alternatives. Either we write a blog on it, or we write a session on it, or we do both. On what factors do we consider? Where should it be more inclined to, or should it be like both? Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
I would
What was the
really
question?
recommend.
It was breaking for me. Sorry, James.
Okay, so let me just tell what I understood from his question. So Vedant was asking in terms of if a content should be presented as a blog or as a session presentation. So I would say a content in its own can be both itself, because you can have a blog post and a session on the same topic, but you only choose for your session what's really important, and for more details you backtrack it to your blog itself. So the key takeaway for audience is like, hey, this is the highlight of my blog, and I'll talk to you about it for 15 minutes. If you want more info, more details of it, it's available in the blog post. More in those lines.
Yep.
I mean,
Uh,
just few cents here because I have seen some conferences which rejects talks if you have already written a blog post on it, because they are of opinion that if it can be conveyed on a blog, it doesn't make sense to present it on a conference. So make sure, like, if you're coming with a very innovative topic, don't write blog post first. Probably just present the talk, and then do it.
yeah.
Otherwise, you're just
Yeah,
missing your point.
I agree with you, Santosh. Like even recent times also we saw a couple of proposals. So like when we send the proposals or when you're receiving proposals, right? This cross question is coming. Are you going to present the same thing which is written in the blog? In that case, like we can spend some time on reading, like Jones mentioned, right? So we can keep it as a reference and we can go through it, and it is unnecessarily leading some no extra cross questions. Yeah,
Right.
that's a very valid, very good, Vedant. Yeah.
Yep.
On this part, but
And
the conference may ask for any reference you have passed for this topic, because sometime what happened, the PPT may not be ready at that time to review it. They might ask for the blog to reference, okay, what kind of content are going to be present, just to give an overview while final selection. That also I saw somewhere.
mhm,
I mean, in that case, probably there is a conflict because there might be scenario that two people have similar talk and
Mhm.
they want to just judge like which holds more content.
Got
If
it.
your abstract tells everything about it, I mean that will be a good chance to get in. Then there is no chance of getting a conflict there. But yeah, I mean, this happens only in case there are like multiple topics, because if you see like you are of course you are being organizing conferences as well, so you get a lot of talks on the same topic. Then you have to choose like which one you will go with. And if it's really that situation where two people have really strong content, then you have to be like in a mindset, okay, which one should I go with? And that's where these questions arise.
Right, right.
I had one more question. So, as mentioned in our previous discussion, that many of the conferences require, or not require, but suggest to have a PPT submission beforehand. How much impact does it bring in submitting the PPTs? Like, is it that if you don't submit, it's like 90% reject, or yeah?
Mm, It kind of depends on the conference and the organizers itself, because uh, one thing that they're also looking in terms of evaluation is how well is your presentation. So if you have another topic, you well presented, you could have them. Hey, you could have the note telling that my presentation for this topic is not available, but this is something that I authored previously. So you could have that as a note, but most of the times people look at again what Santosh mentioned, right? There could be multiple topics by different speakers. So a same topic by multiple speakers. So when they're doing that, this presentation deck will help them judge, hey, which one to choose of.
Got it.
In addition to Jones, right? Like I have one more point on the same. So what? So I sent one CFP to KCD Columbia. So they also had the same thing. Like I just clarified with them, like what is the purpose? Like do I need complete presentation or something? They straight away answered was that. So we just need to estimate that every speaker, will be uh, uh, utilized in the proper time. So they don't want to drag the schedule, or they don't want to cut it off. So whether it is fitting on the specific timeline is what I heard from KCD Columbia team. So that is a very recent one I heard of. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so even for example, GitHub Universe do the same. So they actually they don't need your slides beforehand, but they work with you on the slides. So once your topic is selected, and they will have a team who will work on the slides, because of course it's a universe, right? I mean, GitHub Universe is big, so they will assign some experts who will work on slides, so you don't take more time, right? So you finish your talk within the allocated time, because yeah, that's they just want to keep the a conference or the quality of content you get out in the conference, so they do it.
Got it.
Okay, that's insightful. Thanks. No more questions.
Yeah, my side, I have a question. So when you're submitting a topic to any of the conferences, based on my rejection, I will tell you, it is like that. I generally choose very basic topic. Example, now if I'm talking about any services or in Kubernetes, right? I see, okay, maybe out of 100 people may not be all knows about the Kubernetes, okay, example, and why should we use the Kubernetes also? Why it is so much of importance? So what I tried out submitting a very common topic, but not common exactly, basic topic, but we'll cover with the very advanced level of understanding where people can choose their decision wisely. But I still got a rejection. So that is kind of thing maybe depend upon the what kind of event scope, maybe in the local level, is a country level, or is a global level. Depend upon that the acceptance work or how it exactly work. Right?
Uh, didn't get your question, Avinash?
Just second. So question is like, so when you, okay, I have decided I will go with the one topic that is a very new topic, a new, not new topic, very basic topic. Example, I'm submitting a topic for KCD Mumbai. Kubernetes is a Superman. Okay, some example. Now, why Superman? I'll give it information in the subtract and everything. Now, for them, while selecting a CFA, they will say, okay, this is very like small topic, very basic topic. Everyone know why Kubernetes to use it. But I feel still there are people who don't know the Kubernetes, why to use it, what exactly that do the magic also. Even if it's the trending topic in the market, I can find out there are a lot of people still don't know like what Kubernetes. Okay, but while selecting, they might thinking about, okay, this is the very basic, and they might reject it, right? How that rejection happen? Any idea? Not like exact
Uh,
formula, kind of thing.
Okay. Just from the same example that you mentioned, right? Talking about Kubernetes at a very basic level or a very introductory level at Kubernetes Community Day, for the organizers, it will be like, hey, this is a very basic topic, not a conference level. Maybe it's good for a meetup level, not for a conference level, because when they say conference, they expect it to be, although there are topics around introductory, they may want uh, two steps ahead of what you want to speak about, like not very basic in terms of talking what Kubernetes itself is, rather than a little ahead of it.
Got it.
So that also plays an important role. Say, for example, you're speaking the same thing at DevOps conference. There are chances that it could get accepted because DevOps itself is an ocean and Kubernetes is one part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, a good way to understand this scenario is, to put yourself in the shoes of the audience. Would you attend that session if that session happens there? If your answer is no, then yeah, you have your answer.
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
Generally, like if you know anyone from the committee, it helps because of course you can like verify your ideas, like what they are really looking for, right? So I mean, not everyone will be ready to like reply, but I've seen some big conferences. They do the open office hours, like where they talk about like what is the trending topic and what they are expecting for the conference. I remember NG used to do it. I'm not sure if they're doing it so far, but they used to actually have this open office hours where you can join like on a YouTube stream. Probably maybe a good idea in case you're organizing something that you can actually have live stream, like talk about what you're expecting for this conference, what level of talk, what topics would be like very hot for this conference, or what I have also seen at NGConf is they do some themes. So like some they keep some themes and then your like if your topic is really close to what the theme is or your talk title is close to what the theme is, then it's a higher the chances that you will get in.
Got it.
They try to do it in an innovative way.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
And believe me, sometimes just getting rejected is not really, it does not really matters. You can have just best talks, but still will be rejected because many conferences just try to get a speakers who are like whom they can sell the tickets, because
Yeah.
at the end they want to actually have people there, right? So let's say, as you said, right, a very basic topic, maybe it gets rejected by you, but very famous speaker who is like delivering a very basic talk, it because people will buy tickets just to see him or see her,
Yeah.
see them. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I agree with this point.
Yeah, I mean, the best thing which I've seen is, of course, try to validate your talks on meetups in case you can, and then apply for big conferences.
How common is like the content of the CFP is being shared across different conferences?
I mean,
The same
same.
content is being, yeah.
I mean, I do a lot because, of course, I cannot travel to different conferences in a year and then they deliver different talks if you're traveling every month. So, of course, my talks, as I said, right, and at the start of the year, I decide that okay, these are few talks which I want to give, and then I just submit almost same but different topics. Just remember this. So different topics, not the same. And
Yes.
some meetups will probably after the talks, some meetups also approach that if you want to give the same talk at the meetup, because of course if you have already presented the topic at conference, it means it's worth of, like delivering at a meetup. So that might work as well.
Yeah. So even I do a lot of repetitive talks, just that I don't uh, copy the same content for the next talk as well. I try to improve a little bit. I try to gather feedback in terms of when I'm networking with folks, and if they have any questions about the session itself, I try to answer those questions in my next time when I present it, so that you don't have the same content, but also you're also improving the content in the flow. Maybe after presenting it 5 times, you have a more solid topic than it was at the very first cut, right? So that also, I mean, that I do it as more of a personal growth kind.
Correct. See, one of the good advice I got when I started my speaking journey, right? So, few people have suggested start with the local meetup, pitch your ideas in the local meetup, get into that confidence level and the feedback level from the people, and then slowly, you start submitting to the big event like the conferences or tech event kind of thing. And it really helped me. It really helped. I started with a very small meetup, like online meetup, local meetup. That's how exactly it worked. Right?
Meetups are a really good starting point because one, you will gain confidence. Also, this being a very it could have levels from introductory to experts, so you would know what kind of content really plays out well when you present it. So you
Right.
get a good idea of what you want to present.
Right. Okay, I think we
Uh,
have few minutes left before that. Okay, Akhilesh, you have a question?
No, it's
yeah,
good.
I was saying one more thing that I mean it's so as we know that your past sessions speak for you in the future as well, right? So there's one nice thing. Yes, like there was a session by Sebastian Clement. He's the senior PM of Google DevRel. The thing that I learned from him about the sessions is that the more content you bring in the talk, which is more relatable to the audience, the more they are tend to engage more with you. And the more relatable they feel, they should not feel left out. Hey, I'm experiencing a total new topic. The more you relate them to some of the existing things, the more they enjoy it, the more appreciation you receive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to know from the you people like who have done this so far, right? Like any kind of experience you want to share where you got rejected from the submission and what you done at the next step. Like any example would like to share one like that will be really helpful for the audience also.
Mm, okay. So a lot of my talks have been rejected just for the reason that there was the same topic that was presented at the same conference. Or it's more in the terms of telling, hey, this topic was really the talk of the town, and I'm speaking about the same topic, so it got rejected. So I started thinking, hey, what's that really a good topic that stands out and is unique in its own nature. So when I say unique in its own nature, I try to bring that whole experience from my own experience of working with that specific topic. So that kind of adds that unique essence to the whole session, and chances of acceptance has grown. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's it. Vedant, do you have
Uh,
any experience?
Not many. Like normally don't submit CFPs to be honest. Uh, yep, don't have any.
we just
I normally accept CFPs. So that's one thing that I'd like to share on that.
Okay.
Is that so? Basically, I come from Nagpur. Like, though I didn't live in Nagpur, but so the audience there was not that much high level. Apparently, if you have the option to submit multiple CFPs at an event, try to not just cover each and everything, like all the high level topics. Hey, like these are broad level topics. I'll definitely get accepted. Try to put in some easy, simpler topic as well, because many of the times people organizers don't prefer high topics. So yeah, increases the probability. That's all.
Okay, yeah.
just like I wanted to say this: if you really want to speak at a conference, like, and you are being rejected multiple times, probably try to like get a feedback from them that what was the issue, because this is one of the drawback that not any conference give you feedback, right, why the talk is selected, rejected, or sometimes, of course, it's some conferences do that. Okay, they will tell you that okay, there was really a conflict, like we had some best talks, and then you're just couldn't make it, but not many do. So if you are if you really want to actually speak at that conference, follow some um, like talk to them like why and what can what they expect like in future conferences. It makes sense.
Got it.
And sometimes it's just about popularity building. I mean, I can see some conferences where the talks are like not really good, but the speaker was there because he is popular. So it happens. So don't get like demotivated that your talk got rejected.
Yes.
So
See,
you know that thing, right? From jungle to national level, say national champions are. So sometimes that's the case.
it happens, yes. See, at the end of the day, it's all about learning. Like whatever is happening into our life, step up and down, is all learning from it. So we have to keep learning from the experiences and failure. Only that will help us. Like, this is how actually I took the rejections also. But only thing is like one suggestion also like kind of to new people here who are going to listen this one. Kind of let's try to find out the people who already spoken into the multiple conferences. Try to connect with them and get the feedback from them while drafting the CFA. That will also help out based on their availability, which I also started like recently. Like I really took, why should I take it out? Why should I take feedback from other people? But that is not a way. We have to get the feedback because the way we think maybe the only one directional. Way other things also will get the all 360 dimensions also, and they already have been to this ecosystem. They know what level of audience are there, what kind of things will get questions also. Accordingly, they will try to your feedback, and that will help us to draft it even if that not get accepted, but you will groom around that topic, like how to draft it, how can I improve it. And I feel my like where I was in there and down, now I'm slowly growing with feedback. Okay, I'm getting more improved in better way. That's the one of the good suggestion I got it from the few of the speakers. Okay, I think we are done with the today's session. Anything you want to share? Anything left? Or any questions? No.
Nothing from my side, but yeah, it was an interesting discussion. So thank you everyone for sharing their insights.
Let's take a one picture and we'll just wind up. I'll just take a one picture. Just to
Okay.
until your hand is not showing.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for like giving me your
Yes.
valuable time. I'll try to share in my YouTube channel, and hopefully it will be helpful for other people also. Thank you.
Good.
Have
Thanks,
a nice
Avinash,
day.
Thanks
for
for
being
Thanks,
this with
Avinash.
us.
thanks,
Thanks, Rose,
Prashant.
and Santosh.
Bye bye.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.